All right. So, how about that opening cinematic, eh? You confused? Good. That's how it's supposed to be. Anyhow, what I got for you here is the starting menu, how to pick your class, what all the stats mean, and all of that shit. And so I'm just going to take you through some of the basics of it. Starting class largely doesn't matter. So if you've already passed this and you picked something or whatever, you can basically work around this as you level up and put more levels into other things. The starting classes basically just give you a head start into a specified play style, but you can really mix and match it as you go along. Like you'll see these guys are like around level, 7 or 8 on average. Some of them a little higher. Um, it honestly, by the time you get to the end of the game, you're going to be level 100. So you're gonna work your way past this and find what suits you. So don't really worry too much. Although if you haven't started yet, some of the easier classes to start with, because they have better starting equipment, would be the knight. The mercenary's all right. The warrior is good if you want to use pure strength. And beyond that, the assassin's kind of cool too. Otherwise, you've got your sort of more caster builds. I'd say the sorcerer is one of the harder classes to start with, just because you're very squishy at the beginning. And then the deprived one, you'll see you start at level 1, but all your stats are at 10. This kind of allows you a lot of versatility when playing, but the beginning of the game, before you can really buy anything or get any equipment, is fucking hard because you basically have no armor. You've got a shield that is next to worthless, although the club is decent. Um, Stuff like your age, your gender, and what your character looks like also doesn't matter. It affects literally nothing in the game aside from just what you look like, so it won't affect any gameplay stuff. Burial Gift, I'm going to leave that up to you. I don't want to spoil anything. Some of these are better than others, naturally. Um, Selecting none just kind of sucks. It doesn't really give you anything. There's no like unlocks or special shit that you get for picking none at the beginning. So you might as well pick something. Some of these, like the Divine Blessing, the Hidden Blessing, the Black Fire Bombs, the Soul Item, these coins, they're pretty much consumable items that they'll give you a couple. Like these ones, the Divine Blessing and Hidden Blessing, you get one of each. They're a super powerful consumable item, but you only get one. And then things like fire bombs and the coins, you'll get like 5 or 6. Cracked Red Eye Orb, just don't take this unless you want to invade people online. Um, that's sort of an online only thing, and I would kind of wait. You can find this shit easy in the game. Young White Branch, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a good pickup if you decide it. And then you can't go along with the Life Ring, just giving yourself a little bit of extra health. Not a bad call. Um, so let's go through these stats here. You've got your level at the top, which is pretty much self-explanatory. Um, each level you take will up your physical damage resistance, no matter what stat you choose, whether it's vigor, whether it's endurance, whether it's vitality, you're going to get a boost to your physical damage resistance and periodically to some of your elemental damage types. But we'll get to that shit later. Vigor, to start off, is your health. So each time you level up vigor, you get a little more health. You don't get any HP from any other stat in the game. You can get it like you saw from items, from things like rings and shit like that, but vigor is the only stat that gives you HP. It also gives you a little bit of frost resistance. That's just a specific status effect. Attunement is essentially your spell slots. It's how many slots you can remember, or rather, how many spells you can remember, where you can place your spells. It also gives you FP, which is called focus points. They are your mana, essentially. So you have your spell slots, and that governs how many spells you can know at a time. And then the FP, which is like a bar, it's a blue bar at the top of your screen, you'll see once we create a character, your FP is used by using your spells. So the more attunement you have, the more spells you can know, but also the more FP or focus points you get. Now, focus points also affect certain skills with weapons, so it's not a strictly mage thing. Endurance is probably one of the most important stats in the game, in that it gives you, well, endurance, which lets you move, roll, not move, run, roll, attack, block. Even some endurance is consumed when you cast spells as well. So endurance is important for pretty much every single class, and I would argue it's even more important than HP in general. It also ups your lightning resistance, which is good, and it'll give you some resistance to the bleed status effect. So endurance, on the whole, is a great stat to level in any class. Vitality is how much you can carry on you. And it gives you a bigger boost to your physical damage resistance. It's basically get into heavy armor. That's why this guy's vitality, you can see the knight, his vitality is 15. It's his highest stat because he's got full fucking armor, he's got a sword, he's got a big ass shield. Vitality is his game. It's good if you want to play a heavy knight. It definitely makes you more durable. It lets you carry more stuff. It gives you more physical resistance, but it doesn't give you anything else in terms of HP or damage output or anything like that. Strength is for weapons. It also, you need a certain strength score to be able to wield certain weapons. Some bigger weapons require that you're stronger to use them, and so you won't really be able to use them without a certain strength score. The more you put in strength, the more your strength-scaled weapons will do damage. The same goes for dexterity. One more thing, on strength, is that it does boost your fire resistance as well. Dexterity will boost your scaling with dexterity weapons, and certain requirements are needed for particularly dexterous weapons, things like katanas, rapiers, finesse weapons. And it will also let you cast spells faster. This is very marginal, though. I'll let you know that. It's not, it doesn't let you blast spells super quickly. It's marginally faster, and it also reduces a little bit of your fall damage. Intelligence is for casting sorceries. So there are 3 types of magic in this game. Sorcery, which is your true magic. You've got faith, which is your god powers, healing spells, some offensive capability as well. And then you've got your pyromancy, which uses intelligence and faith. So intelligence is going to give you magic resistance. Intelligence is going to up the requirements, or the more you go up in intelligence, the more spells you'll be able to cast based on their requirement. So like one may require 15 intelligence or 20 intelligence to know it and use it. And the same goes for faith. So that just goes with things called miracles. These are basically god magic. It's faith magic. It's sort of the cleric versus the wizard kind of thing. And faith will also give you dark resistance, which is another damage type. Luck is kind of the outlier. Luck is for item drops, which is cool. It also gives you curse resistance, which is a bitch-ass status effect that you'll discover later. But it also ups the potential for bleed and poison from your weapons. This is a very kind of niche thing. You can totally make it work, but I'd say steer clear of luck for the first little bit. Again, I don't want to guide you where to go, and you're not going to, fall off and get obliterated if you use luck, but it's not going to up your damage. It's not going to really up your survivability. It will up the drops that you get, though, and some rare items are, in fact, very cool. So you'll see that as you get through it. But all of these, they affect other things in the game, and I'll show you those a little later.